Hello there. In this video, we're going to start making our buttons for our design system. So let's go. Okay, so now let's move on to our tertiary buttons. Let's just click into the component again. Let's click on the secondary, let's click on plus. Let's just drag that out. That should be fine there. So let's rename the style. Okay, that looks good. So let's just, for tertiary, let's remove the border. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's click on the plus and let's just drag it down again. Let's align it there. This is going to be our hovered, and what we'll do, let's just reuse this state for now. So it's Sapphire 300. Let's click here. Let's add a stroke of Sapphire 300, and we just need to, I assume we update the text as well. Yep, that's not correct. There we go, 300. And let's just click on here to make it a tiny bit quicker. So for focused, we can reuse the same thing for now. Let's go up here. Let's add tertiary. There we go. And let's do the same with pressed. Just drag this across. Rename that to tertiary. Go to activated. Just rename that to tertiary as well. And for disabled, let's click on the plus. Let's bring it down here. There we go. That's been renamed to tertiary. I am, however, going to remove the stroke and we'll just have the text. I think that should be fine. Just going to click on all of these very carefully and just make sure, what is the space between? Let's have a look. 16 pixels. Let's do 16 for now. So let's click on these again carefully. Don't want to accidentally click the plus. Click on those. Let's do 16 for space and same again. There we go. That can be 16 as well. Okay, I think that's good. We've got our primary, our secondary, and our tertiary buttons here. Let's just tidy up the page. Let's add a description at the top. Okay, I've just added a short sentence up here. Buttons trigger actions and guide users through your product's workflows. So something nice and straightforward just to expand the page a little bit more. Okay, so zooming out, I think we've got everything we need here. Let's just scroll up. We can use the new feature here that's in Figma, collapse all the layers. So there we go, they're all collapsed. What I am going to do is go up here to assets. I'm just going to type in button. Just going to drag it out and let's just put a frame around it. So let's test drive the button out. So we're currently on our enabled state for primary. So we've got enabled, hovered, focused, pressed, activated and disabled. I think that looks good. Okay, let's go to secondary. Scroll all the way back up. So we've got enabled, hovered, focused, pressed, activated and disabled. Let's go to tertiary, scroll all the way up again. There we go, so we've got enabled, hovered, focused, pressed, activated and disabled. Okay, that looks great. So I'm thinking about how I can optimize the experience as a designer when I'm using this and using Figma. Now for me, I feel like I would want to adjust the button text. So instead of double clicking in to adjust the button text, let's add that up here as an option. Let's click on the button label text itself. Let's go back to our file so we can see the layers. Let's click on multi-edit variants. And now let's click on apply variable property. There's nothing there at the moment, so that's fine. Let's click on the plus. So we're adding a property. Let's give the name as label. And the value is button label. And let's create the property. Okay, that property's been created. It's also been applied to all of our buttons because we're multi-editing. Let's click off again. Let's go back to our label here. Now what's great is we now have that option up here in the panel, label. And now if I click in here and put this is my new button, hit enter, and there we go. It applies the text to my button. If I then go and change the style, so let's do enabled, changes the button style, and if I go to secondary or maybe primary, it then updates the style according to the state I've selected. So really great, gives us a lot of flexibility, makes our life a bit easier as well when we're designing. It speeds up the process for us when we're using this component. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to delete frame 3. I don't think we've got any conflicts on the component itself. Everything looks good. So let's just zoom out. Let's lock the layer here. Let's go up to assets, Let's go to libraries and let's click on publish and let's add some notes. Okay, that's great. Just going to click on publish and there we go. That's been updated, which is great. Okay, I'm just going to go in, make a couple of changes here. So on these variants, these ones here, I'm actually going to remove the background fill. I only really need it on pressed because that's going to show the shadow, and the shadow needs a background because I think from memory if you click here, if I remove the background, yeah, the shadow's going to disappear. So let's press Command Z, enable that. I'm just going to do the same here for these ones. Okay, I'm just going to go up to libraries, going to go to publish. It's just updated the button component. Just going to click publish on that. Okay, so let's click on our button. Let's just minimize that and lock it. And the reason I changed that is because when we go to the footer, we actually need to add a button in here for the subscribe. So if I go up to assets, let's just drag a button in, press Command C, let's delete it for a moment. If I go into subscribe, okay, so for the moment what I've done is I have added a secondary button here into the footer, just for the moment. I've changed the button label to submit, and that's just beneath the text field component that we created in one of the previous videos. So at least when people are entering their email, they have a button here below to submit their email through. We'll use that for now. I'm sure there are other improvements we could make here to the footer and to this section, but for now I'm happy with it. We'll use that for now. We can always refine it a little bit later. Just going to delete that top frame out because we don't need that anymore. Okay, and let's just go into the footer. Let's just collapse all the layers and lock it again. Just going to go up to libraries, click on publish, and just make a note. Okay, so click in publish, and there we go. That's the footer updated. Okay, I'm coming back to the buttons again. I've just been thinking about it a little bit more, and I do think we're going to need a small variation of this button. And that's because we have things like cards. It'd be good to have a smaller variant of the button to use. So I'm just going to make some adjustments here to our component. So let's just select some of these things and move them along. Okay, so primary, we're going to call this primary and we're going to call it medium. Let's duplicate that. Let's call this primary small. Just want to decrease some of the spacing between here. So let's also knock that down to, let's say 24 for now. Let's knock that down to, let's use 48 for now. Okay, so I'm going to click on and select all of my primary buttons. I'm going to option and I'm going to drag them out. Now in the properties panel, as you can see, it's telling me that there are values that are conflicting, and that's fine. It's just because I've duplicated them. I'm going to click on the component here at the top level. I'm going to go into properties and I'm going to add a variant. I'm going to label this as size, and for the default, we'll do the default as medium. So create the property. Okay, so now I'm going to click onto these new buttons here that I've just copied out. See if I can align them a little bit better. There we go. Now for size, I'm just going to rename that to small. Now I want to multi-edit these really, so I've got them all selected, so that should be fine. Now I guess the thing I want to adjust first, if I click enter on the keyboard, that selects the text. I'm going to go in, change my variable from medium to small. So I'm going to go in and use the correct line height for small text, so that's 16. And then I'm going to go back up. So to go back up while everything is selected, I'm going to press shift on the keyboard and hold it and hit enter. That goes up a level. So let's adjust the padding. So let's change 16 to 8. I think the vertical padding should be fine. Let me just click off and see how that looks. Okay, that should be fine for now. What I am going to do is just quickly align it with the button to the left. There we go. Okay, so those are all aligned. Right, so now we do the same for secondary. So secondary, try and rename it correctly. So let's move these back across. So I'm holding shift on the keyboard and clicking. There we go. I'm going to click up here, going to duplicate that, rename this one to small. And I will follow the exact same process. So select them all, click on option, let's drag them out. Probably need a little bit more space. So let's just move these ones over. Okay, so let's go back, select all of these again. I'm going to change the size to small. I'm going to hit on enter on the keyboard. I'm going to make the text changes. There we go. I'm going to hold shift, hit enter, go back up a level, change the padding, and that should be good to go there. Just going to align those with the button again to the left. Okay, that's good. And let's go in here. Let's just update that name there. Let's grab these buttons. There we go. Let's move those across. Duplicate that. Let's rename that to small. And same again, select all the buttons. Let's hold option. Let's click and drag. Let's move them across. Let's just update their size so they're now small. Hit enter on the keyboard. Adjust the text. Okay, I'm going to hold shift. Hit enter. Go up a level. Adjust the padding. There we go. That should be the tertiary ones done. And again, just going to spend a moment aligning them. Okay, great. So we've got some new button sizes to play with as well. Okay, so we just lock the layer, go up here to publish, click on publish, and I'll just put added small button sizes. Click on publish there, and there we go, that's up to date. Just go back to the footer a moment, and let's just zoom in slightly. Okay, let's just go into the subscribe a little bit more. Let's just adjust how this looks. I can probably beef that up and actually use the secondary medium. I think that would be okay. Okay, just updated the label as well. And yeah, for now, I think that is fine. So I just wanted to make that quick change in layout on the footer. Just quickly publish those changes. So yeah, going back to the buttons page, I think we've got some great options here. I think this is going to really help with some of the other components in the future that we make, just to have those different sizes of buttons. And I think that will really help support build these different components in the future. Let's go back to our research file and let's have a look around and see what other components we could potentially make for our design system. Okay, so looking at the home page, I know we've got the cards up here. That's definitely something we're going to need. We've also got an accordion component here that we're going to need at some stage. Let's have a quick look at some of the other wireframes. So we've got our hero section, got a layout there, we've got some benefit cards, we've got our company logos there. Let's keep going. We've got the cards here, we've got a tabs component potentially here and some filters. Okay, let's have a quick look here on the get in touch. We've got a text field component that will handle some of this. We've got the upload here. We've got, obviously we've just done the buttons and we've got a message here. Let's have a look at the checkout. So we've got the different sections that are being used here. We've also got radio buttons here on these components. Okay, I think the next thing we can look at building is an accordion component because we're going to need it here for FAQs. So yeah, in the next video, let's focus and look at how we can build an accordion component for our design system. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for getting to the end. Like and subscribe, add some comments, check out some other videos on my channel. So everyone still in this house has got chocolate from Easter. So I'm gonna see if I can sneak out in a bit and go and steal some chocolate. Anyway, that's it for this week. So I will see you next week in another video. See ya. Chocolate hunting has not gone well. Look at the state of this. It's just savage.